ministry like this?
Any Christian can get involved in chaplaincy if they feel so led to, or they desire to assist those who are in crisis. What it requires is a desire and understanding to learn and know the Bible. In the book, Chaplains of the Bible, we talk about individuals that people have been studying Christians for years and never realized that they were providing assistance in the Bible to individuals who were in need, like the Good Samaritan is a perfect example of a chaplain. Paul in the shipwreck, Ananias, when he was serving Paul and Jesus, was the perfection of a chaplain because he ministered to everyone who was in some type of crisis or disaster, whether it was spiritual, emotional, or physical, right on down to casting demons out of people. Jesus was always ministering to those who had a need, and that could not be met by your normal methods of providing ministry to someone. So this book, Chaplains of the Bible, is written for everyday, ordinary people. It requires that you understand a certain amount of the Bible, and then you simply get out there and get some training, and that is not a college education. That is taking some courses like first aid courses, critical incident stress management courses, which are anywhere from 1 to 3 days at a maximum, and developing in whatever way God is calling you to. It's also easy to be a chaplain to your next-door neighbor who's going through a traumatic divorce, or to a best friend who has lost a significant loved one in their life. It's simply applying the principles that Jesus did in the Bible and the leaders that he put in the Bible, like Paul and the Good Samaritan. There are hundreds of examples in the Bible that describe individuals helping other people, including Jesus. So in our book, we've chosen some of those key people, and we've written about what they did, and then we have a study guide that translates over for them to look at it in the here and now for them and what they could do today for someone they know is in distress. I just came back from New Jersey, where we served 142 chaplains through the Billy Graham Association, served over 6,000 people by providing emotional and spiritual care for them in 4 counties in New Jersey and 1 in New York. And that was through the Rapid Response Team. And those are chaplains who chose to go a little further than just the next-door neighbor or the person in their church or their family member who needed assistance. These were chaplains who have chosen to train a little more and sign up with the Rapid Response Team and go in under a larger organization. And that's where you serve a greater number of people. So it's whatever direction you choose to go, whether it's on a one-on-one personal level with your friends and neighbors and family, or whether you choose to go on a larger level under an organization like the Rapid Response Team with Billy Graham. The principles are all the same. You provide the emotional and spiritual care that people need so that they have a hope. And that hope often is non-existence to someone who has lost everything in their life.
One other question, Patricia Geyer with us. She and her husband have written the book Chaplains of the Bible. Like Ray, I'd never thought about this in this way, but another thing that chaplains get is, I don't know, in the kind of situations you're talking about, where in defining chaplains as people who go in to help people in real need and counsel them and lead them spiritually and be there for them. You also get the, you mentioned the, like natural disasters and things like that.
Yes.
You also get the people who don't know the Lord, and they say, why did God do this? Why did God allow this to happen? So do you get into that very much, or you just say, hey, I don't know, and then you're there to help?
The most important thing as a chaplain is to be honest and very upfront and direct. And when people ask that, and on rare occasions they do, not as often as one would think, we often tell them, we don't know that God did this. What we do know is he allowed it, and that he has sent chaplains to assist you through it and to help build you up and give you a new hope. And this is an opportunity for you to talk to me as a chaplain about and tell me your story. The ministry of presence is what we call chaplaincy a lot of times, because we listen.
Patricia, thanks so much for your time. What's the book, and where can people get it?
The book is Chaplains of the Bible. You can go to the family Christian bookstores to get it, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or iTunes. You can get it electronically as well. Again, that's family Christian bookstores, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, and iTunes. And also go to the www.chaplainsofthebible.com.
Well, that's plenty of places to get it right there.
Yes,
that's about
sir, it is.
10 different places. So
it's good. The book it's a good book, widely available.
If you can't get it from those 10 places, people don't call us, because you're not in touch with the world at all.
If you've got internet, you should be able to get this book.
Chaplains of the Bible, Patricia Geyer, Geyer. Thank you, Patricia.
You're welcome. Have a safe day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, I mentioned that, people, you go to like a hurricane or relief, or you go to earthquake relief, or you go to a tornado, whatever, natural disasters in particular, and you try to help. And then I'm probably overstating the number of people that do this. People want to know, you're a Christian, and they're not. They say, look at all this. How could God allow this to happen, this kind of pain and suffering and everything? Is it best, I know we got to get to our next guest, is it best just to not try to answer questions that we don't have answers to?
I think in about 95% of the cases, especially in the midst of the disaster.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
When the water is filling up the basement, and your car is, your car is in the ditch, and people are in trouble going to the hospital. I think we can leave the theoretical discussion for a later time.
Okay, good. I agree. I knew a person one time who had his son pass away, and young son pass away, and then somebody came to his house, a fellow Christian, well-meaning, but then they say something like, well, it was just God's will. And I thought, whoa, hold on just a minute. Guy, if you think this is comforting this guy, this is raw. This is a guy who's had raw emotions.
Really, this is just a question of timing. Is that statement true from a biblical point of view in the broadest sense? In the broadest sense, yes, it is. But that's not what he needs to hear right then. He needs to know that you love him, that you care, you're there for him, and there's always going to be time to talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to insinuate that you're blaming God for the accident.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the way it's interpreted, especially by somebody who's not a mature.
And especially if they're in the midst of it.
Yeah. And if somebody's not a mature Christian and you tell them something like that, they interpret that as, you're telling me God just killed my son. Mm-hmm. That's what you're telling me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you got to be careful. Be careful about your words.
Be tactful.
Yeah, be tactful. Exactly. You're listening to Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network.